In ancient Greek culture, Poseidon was revered as one of the principal deities of the pantheon. Regarded as the god of the sea, earthquakes, and horses, his myth represents an essential aspect of how the Greeks understood the natural world. Although modern historians and archaeologists acknowledge that the stories of Poseidon belong to the realm of myth and legend, these accounts have been passed down through generations and continue to offer insight into the beliefs, values, and environment of the ancient Greeks. According to the ancient sources such as Homer, Hesiod, and later poets and historians, Poseidon was born as the son of Cronus and Rhea. In a myth that explains the struggle for power among the gods, Cronus had swallowed all of his children to thwart a prophecy, foretelling that one of them would overthrow him. However, when Rhea, distraught by the loss of her offspring, sought to save her youngest child, she tricked Cronus by concealing Poseidon and offering him a stone wrapped in swaddling clothes instead. This act of maternal defiance set the stage for Poseidon's eventual rise to power once the Olympian gods emerged victorious in their conflict with the Titans, a war described in texts as the Titanomachy. The Titanomachy, as recounted in classical literature, was a decisive conflict that reshaped the divine order. While much of the narrative has mythological elements, scholars agree that this story reflects ancient attempts to explain the origins of order out of primordial chaos. During the struggle between the old gods and the new generation, Poseidon emerged as a powerful force. Unlike his brother Zeus, who would later be associated primarily with the sky and thunder, Poseidon's connection was with the watery world. His famed trident, said to be forged by the Cyclopes, is often mentioned in literature as a symbol of his dominion over the seas and the unpredictable forces of nature, such as storms and earthquakes. Following the defeat of the Titans, the ancient Greeks believed that the cosmos was divided among the Olympian deities. In this distribution, Poseidon was granted control over the sea, a domain of vast and varied characteristics. Ancient texts suggest that the Greeks saw the ocean as a living, breathing entity, a source of both bountiful resources and unpredictable dangers. The duality of the sea is reflected in Poseidon's character. On one hand, he was honored as a benevolent protector whose favor ensured safe passage for seafarers, abundant fishing grounds, and the overall prosperity of coastal communities. Temples dedicated to Poseidon, such as the famous sanctuary at Sounion, stand as historical testaments to his worship, where ancient mariners would offer sacrifices and prayers before embarking on perilous voyages. On the other hand, Poseidon was also a force to be reckoned with. The destructive power of the ocean was a constant reminder of the god's ability to unleash devastating storms, tsunamis, and earthquakes. In various myths, his wrath was invoked when he felt slighted or disrespected, and such narratives served as both cautionary tales and explanations for natural disasters. The Greeks, living in a region where seismic activity and rough seas were common, found in Poseidon an embodiment of the unpredictable forces of nature. His character thus represented the inherent uncertainty of life, mirroring the constant interplay between creation and destruction found in the natural world. Another significant aspect of Poseidon's myth is his association with horses. Ancient sources recount that Poseidon was credited with the creation of the first horse, and he was sometimes worshipped as the god of chariots and cavalry. This connection is not accidental. Horses played an important role in ancient Greek society, particularly in warfare and transportation. The reverence for horses and the rituals associated with Poseidon highlight the broader cultural significance of his myth. It is believed that the Greeks saw horses as symbols of both nobility and wild, untamed nature, much like the sea itself. Historical accounts and archaeological finds, including equine iconography on pottery and in sculpture, reinforce the idea that Poseidon's influence extended beyond the maritime realm into everyday aspects of life. Poseidon's interactions with other gods and mortals are well documented in the literature of the time. Many ancient texts describe his relationships, which were often complex and served to illustrate the interdependence among the gods. In these accounts, Poseidon's liaisons with goddesses and mortal women not only expanded his influence, but also underscored the belief that divine intervention played a central role in the lives of ordinary people. His offspring, often celebrated for their heroic deeds or tragic destinies, became integral to the mythological landscape, further blurring the lines between the divine and the human. Historians note that these narratives, while mythological, were a means of explaining the origins of notable lineages and events in ancient Greek history. Despite the mythical nature of these stories, many scholars view the figure of Poseidon as a cultural symbol rather than a literal deity. His myth has been interpreted as an allegory for the human struggle against the forces of nature, as well as a reflection of the ancient Greeks' deep respect and fear of the sea. Over time, the worship of Poseidon evolved, absorbing influences from various local traditions and regional practices. This syncretism allowed his myth to endure, adapting to the changing needs and understandings of successive generations. The legacy of Poseidon is evident in the art and architecture of the ancient world. Temples and statues dedicated to him can be found throughout the Mediterranean, serving as a tangible connection to a time when myth and reality were intertwined. The enduring appeal of Poseidon's myth is also reflected in the literary and artistic works of later periods, where his character was reinterpreted by Renaissance artists, Enlightenment philosophers, and even modern storytellers. His story, with its blend of power, beauty, and inherent danger, continues to captivate audiences and offers a rich tapestry through which we can explore human perceptions of the natural world. In modern times, the study of Poseidon and other mythological figures has become an important aspect of understanding ancient civilizations. Scholars use these myths to gain insight into the religious practices, societal values, and environmental challenges faced by the ancient Greeks. While the historical accuracy of these accounts is subject to debate, there is little doubt that the myth of Poseidon has left an indelible mark on Western culture. His legacy endures in the way we understand natural disasters, the importance of the sea in commerce and culture, and the enduring human need to explain the mysteries of the world. Today, as we gaze upon stormy seas or feel the tremors of the earth, we are reminded of the symbolic power embodied by Poseidon. His story, rooted in the traditions of ancient Greece, continues to inspire both reverence and inquiry. The myths surrounding his life serve as both a cultural heritage and a mirror reflecting the timeless interplay between the forces of nature and human experience. By exploring the legend of Poseidon, we come to appreciate not only the ingenuity of ancient storytelling, but also the enduring human endeavor to find meaning in the natural world. As we conclude this exploration of Poseidon's myth, it becomes clear that his story is not merely a collection of fantastical tales, but a profound reflection of ancient Greek society's relationship with nature. Through his dominion over the sea, earthquakes, and horses, Poseidon encapsulated the awe, wonder, and trepidation that the natural world inspired in those who lived in close proximity to its power. His myth challenges us to consider the balance between creation and destruction, and it reminds us that the forces which shape our world are as mysterious as they are magnificent. Let the legacy of Poseidon inspire you to delve deeper into the rich tapestry of ancient mythology, a world where the divine and the natural coexist in a perpetual dance. Like, subscribe, and share this exploration of Poseidon's enduring myth, and join us in uncovering the timeless lessons embedded in the stories of the past. Like, share, and subscribe for more awesome content. Your support means everything.